We're at the back of a grocery store. I'm going to do a video and teach everyone out there how to properly measure for the length and angle of a handrail. So this is what we call a story stick. We start out by placing it on the steps, running it down to the very bottom part of the landing where once you want it to sit on the top bull nose, the bottom bull nose, and the landing. I use the Bosch digital angle finders. And so what you want to do to get the angle, you place it on, get it level, okay? So the angle of this set of steps is 55.8 degrees. Am I right down 55.8? That's step one. Step two, you need to know the length. So this particular handrail stops at the bottom step. We may or may not put it there. We may put it all the way down the landing. So what you have to measure is the very tip of your bull nose, top and bottom. Emma, we have 53 1/4. Going all the way down to the landing, place your tape right there where your story stick touches. Measure the top. Emma, we've got 68 inches. If you get those two dimensions and the angle of your staircase, you can build any handrail you want. I don't even remember how we used to fuck it up, but when we learned this method from an old French boy here in Kansas City that builds primarily handrail, I mean, it cut our time, you know, a quarter of the time to build a handrail. So I'm just going to measure. We've got, Emma, we have 3 3/4 inches back to the existing handrail from the top bull nose. On a guardrail, you need to be 42 inches. This particular one, let me come up top here and get a better look at it, since we have to match up to this existing. We've got, well, it's 42 right here, face of concrete to top of rail. That's your guardrail code. Guardrail 42 inches. It's like 40 to 44. We just say 42 because you're safe. If you're a little high, a little low, you're still going to be in the required code. In the previous video, we got our angle of the staircase, we got our bull nose to bull nose, we got our top bull nose to the landing, we have our top bull nose back to existing rails. So this is how you lay out your handrails. You're going to draw your angle out, your parallelogram, onto a piece of paper. When it sits on the stairs, everything will be level. So the angle is 55.8. Now, you need to know how to get the bottom angle here and your step back to your existing rail, okay? So you need to get your top angle. Your bottom angle here, you're gonna take 180 degrees minus your 55.8 degrees, and that'll be the angle for the front of your stairs. Your top angle, you're gonna take 90 degrees plus your 55.8 degrees for 145.8 degrees, and that is the angle of your steel for your top. And then when you come back your 3 3/4, that's just going to be a 90 leg. If there wasn't a leg there already, that would be a 90-degree angle at the very top. So that is how you do your basic layout for handrail. That is how you find your angles. Once you get your step angle, 180 minus your step angle for your front, 90 plus for the top. Once you have your baseline, consider this line the bull nose, the very front of your steps. Set your angle on your Bosch. Pick a point on your bull nose line and draw your angle. Take your story stick, or if you have a shorter stick, 3 feet, 4 feet. Continue that angled line And that will be considered the stopping point for your front leg. Whether it's the bottom landing like we discussed, or if this is the tip of the bottom step. I'll show you here in just a second if you need to bring it back 3 or 4 inches, if that's what the customer wants. Let's complete our layout with our chalk line. So what we need is a parallelogram. Actually, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it with the length. Take your notes. All right, we're going to go bull nose to bull nose, 53 1/4, because that's what the client originally had. So that's the front. Mark 53 1/4. That's your very top bull nose. Put your angle finder out here, 55.8. Get it on your line. How precise your handrail is determines how well you lay it out. Layout is king. If you're 0.1, 0.2 off, that'll be okay. Same thing with your story stick to continue your line. Like I said, this all determines how well you do your layout. I've been doing this a very long time. It doesn't take me as much time as it used to. Okay, so that's going to be the very top step bull nose, going straight up. Take your tape measure. We're going to make this 42 inches. So find your top spot. Measure up, 42. Mark it. Same thing down front. 42. Okay. Take your story stick. No, we don't have a welding station outside, but it's extremely loud in the shop with everyone working. So that's why we're doing it outside. Draw your top rail. This line here represents your top rail. Bring it all the way down. So if you look at it from this view, you've got your angled steps with the complete layout for your front leg, your top rail. If we weren't going straight back 3 3/4 inches, which I'll show you that here in just a second, that's going to be your back leg. Grab a 2-foot square. If your customer wants it back on the front step, we know that this front line here represents the front leg, and this line coming 90 degrees off of it is going to represent the very first step. Okay, so if they want it back 3 inches, we'll just mark 3. Okay, take your square, set it on that 3-inch mark, perfectly square with your leg. You draw your line back up to your top rail line. Okay, so now this back line here represents your new leg length. So, top rail. So that leg, 3 inches back, is now going to be 43 7/8 of an inch. That's your front leg. Now, coming back 3 3/4 inches, you come to your back leg layout position. Put your square right on your point. Draw a line 90 degrees off your back leg position. Mark 3 3/4. Set your square. Now with the back leg sitting on the top landing, we know that the length of it's going to be 42 inches. And that 42 inches, keep in mind, is minus your base plate thickness. If you're going to connect it with a 45-degree miter up here with the top rail and the back leg, obviously, 41 3/4. If the top rail is going to continue on for whatever reason, you're going to be minus your thickness of your top rail, minus the thickness of your base plate. And that is how you do a simple layout for any handrail. We discussed the 180 minus, the 90 plus, our angle. Here at the top, 90 plus 55.8, 145.8. And for your cuts for your top rail, on your downslope for your steps, and your flat for your landing, you divide 145.8 by 2, and your cut on this piece of steel is going to be 72.9. This steel, 72.9. And that, when you put those two pieces together, you'll get 145.8. On the front, 180 minus. The 55.8 is 124.2. So 124.2 divided by 2, 62.1. So this front leg here is going to have a 62.1. The top rail on the bottom is going to have a 62.1. Put those together, I promise you, your legs will be perfectly vertical and plumb. Your customer will be extremely happy with you.